I didn't set out to be famous. If I'd wanted that, I would have gone on Big Brother. I do believe any hero is a person that can be knocked down. A failure isn't a person who gets knocked down, a failure is a person who stays down, and to me, the great heroes take the beating, get knocked down and stand back up again. Perseus is defined as one of the great heroes in literature, so you gotta take that on board. Each job you have has its own challenges. One of the great things about my job is that each film is a different journey. Everything is backwards now, like out there is the true world, and in here is the dream. A mate of mine told me recently, "It's the first time I've seen you work, Worthington." I thought that was quite funny, but he was right. I want a movie to be satisfying for an audience. That sense of having to get it done, no matter what cost, is what I like. All you need in any industry is someone to back you, and Jim Cameron backed me up. Patriots is quite simple. There's 7 continents in the world. If you had to sacrifice one continent and make it 6, would you do it? When I was in my 20s, I thought I knew who I was. And then as soon as I turned 30, I realized that I have bruises and bumps and dark parts. And you kind of go, well, that's it. I'd rather embrace it than force myself to change. I've got to challenge myself more, and not listen to anybody else, and not listen to any media or bloggers, but just listen to myself. I've got to push myself. If I don't believe I'm growing, and I believe I'm just coasting, then I've got to get off the train. If I feel I'm growing, I have to keep going. It's a long marathon. When you're working with friends, unless the material is right, our friendship could end. I've lost love. I've tried to reclaim a lost love and didn't know how to do it. Most actors go, I read the script and fell in love with it, I fall in love with the directors. There's always gonna be criticisms, no matter what movie you do, no matter what. You can't please everybody, and it doesn't matter what the genre is. There's always gonna be a positive to a negative comment. The high mountains are barren, but the low valleys are covered over with corn, and accordingly the showers of God's grace fall into lowly hearts and humble souls. You get to go and play with the big boys. It's a very privileged thing for us to do. So I'm sure we have more ideas than what I actually have time for. If you look at the whole world now, it's just computer games, graphic novels, film, TV spin-offs of spin-offs like Deadpool spinning off of Wolverine. So I think that any kind of smart producer looks at all of those bases. Once it comes down to the integrity of it, audiences are very smart, they smell that they're just kind of being played. I also care that the public are getting their $12 worth when they go to a movie, and that they're not coming out not wanting to ever see a movie with me in it again. I don't care what people think of me as a person, but I do care what people think of my work, and whether I'm investing enough into it. You've always got to be smart enough to go, well, they're going to have to bring some of their own in. We don't want to be a monopoly where we get shoved out, it has to be symbiotic. I'm doing the same thing and it's 100 times bigger and 100 times better. So if you're going to make a computer game off a movie, is it going to be like Avatar where it's going to be a prequel before Jake even got to the planet? You've got to be smart because audiences demand that. I've done a lot of roles where I'm the hero saving the planet. I love doing them, but sometimes you want to completely try something different and create something unique and get lost in it a bit because it's completely far away from me. I don't mind being in studios, and I don't mind being out in nature. They're 2 different ways of making movies. To supply people for ages in camps makes no sense. You have to rebuild that cabana that they rent out to tourists on the weekend. They need help getting their fields repaired and their boats repaired. The spirit that America has, the American industry creativity it has where anything is possible. 3 idealistic Australians bringing in new ideas and being able to make the damn comic books that they've always dreamed about. It's kind of a cool thing. I went to drama school with John Schwartz and Mike's his younger brother, so he tends to just hang out. That's it. So we're a pretty tight bunch of guys, they do whatever they do and they're my brothers basically. I think any actor who talks in beatings up is just talking himself up.